Let's get to our next news story here.
Ah,
Uh,
yes. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. They're
yes,
being they're being accused of the woke, and they don't like it.
I thought it was the opposite. I thought they were being accused of the not woke, and they were
No,
tired.
no. They are now being accused of the woke.
Okay,
Quite infamously,
can
Kingdom
you give
Come
me the full
Deliverance
rundown on
1.
what the hell happened
Yeah, yeah,
here?
yeah. So this goes back to Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. All right, Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 got into a controversy because it doesn't have a lot of people of color in the game. And they were initially claiming that that was for historical purposes. They're saying that that region of the world just didn't have many people of color, and that's why there weren't a lot of people of color in the game. They were obsessed with the history of the region. Now, that's maybe not actually historically accurate, and there was a very interesting conversation going on at the time about how actually there were quite a few more people of color in the region during that period of history than maybe they might think. And they were accused of being kind of racist because of that at the time. And there was a massive group of people that came to their defense in saying that, yeah, well, you just can't handle games that are based and are super for real about race. Don't you know that only the whites were in this region? Stop trying to put your woke in my video games. And that was a whole part of the controversy surrounding Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. The reverse has now happened. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is taking place in a region of that same country that is uh, much more diverse during that period of time because it was more of a population hub than the area that Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 took place in. And so there are characters that are people of color in places in the game, and there is there's an optional gay romance in the game, and so people have latched onto this and said they've wokeified Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and they've taken the complete reverse stance that they did on the company during the first game's life cycle.
Like,
And
um,
they're just tired of it.
I would be too, because as someone on the outside of all of this shit as well, I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of every time a game comes out, it being framed by weirdos on the internet as woke or not woke. I'm so
Yeah,
tired. And I remember a conversation where someone was like, "Is this forever now?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
it
this is
is.
probably forever. This is gonna be the stupid discussion we have to have every time this rolls around." Quotes that the developer says, I think generally, in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, with the research we did, we delved way deeper into different characteristics. This goes for the Cumans, who are no longer one note villains, to individual characters like Father Godwin, who have been elevated beyond his original status as a funny, boozed up priest. Warhorse wants to dig into Bohemia's denizens, their motivations, and history. The result is a game that feels much richer, telling stories shaped by different perspectives. That it's upsetting that the bigots is merely a bonus, says this article from PC Gamer. But for Warhorse, which is now being accused of being a part of some global DEI conspiracy, it's understandably exhausting, saying, quote, in an ideal world, we would not be connected to these fights at all.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm just tired of it. Like it, and the thing is like they're never consistent with their ideology. I remember you were on that podcast episode last year
Hmm.
where we went over the woke game detector list.
The woke games list, where the
Yeah,
games are woke.
and it's like every game to them is woke, like no matter what. And like they're telling you shouldn't play these, or like it's like or you'll have cases where people will be like, yeah, it's totally not woke, like metaphor. They'll say metaphor is not woke, and I'm like, bruh, this entire story is about like
It is a
racism.
game about racism. That is like the entire point of the game. The thing is that this is all a consequence of a larger symptom that the game industry has undergone since probably around 2016, when people realized that there is a lot of room for political radicalization amongst
Mhm.
people who like games. And so because that was kind of proven to be the case, there's a big market out there for people who want to radicalize people who play games more, and there's an entire ecosystem surrounding people complaining about wokeness in games and complaining about the potential drift of games to be radicalized by leftist politics, and because that ecosystem exists, all games now are vulnerable to being dragged into this existing conversation. And there's nothing we can do about it. You know, the
It's
people are here to complain about woke, and they're not going to be stopped.
just every single time this conversation comes up, I just feel like the Ben Affleck smoking a cigarette meme. Like, I'm gonna pull it up on the screen for everyone in a second. Like, this is what it's exactly what I feel like every time this conversation comes up. Just tired and like I want to
Yeah.
die. You know?
Yeah, you know, look, we have to hunt down the wokes. They're in the games. We go, we find them. And if there aren't any wokes, that just means we're not looking hard enough for the wokes. And you know, we got to look harder because the less woke the game seems, the more the secret DEI is in there more secretly.
I'm so concerned someone who watches this is gonna take you seriously. Like, That's that's the number one thing that came to my brain when you were saying all that. Um. Oh, okay. So yeah, man. I just like, and I'm just like mad. They're also inconsistent. Like Baldur's Gate 3 did not get nearly as much flack, but it's like by what I've heard about woke or anti woke, it's one of the most woke games of all time.
It did actually get a lot of flack, but the target audience for
Mm.
Baldur's Gate 3 was never the same target audience as the people that are complaining about the woke. Uh, you know, they were going after D&D players, and D&D is a very progressive community. And a lot of people that don't play a lot of games in the larger sphere played Baldur's Gate 3 because, you know, it's a D&D thing. And the game's great. And so I think it was just not as loud, but I mean, it's on the woke games list. It's
I
certified
mean,
woke.
yes, or like Cyberpunk. Like Cyberpunk, they didn't do the woke dance, and that happened. I don't remember hearing that
Well, and that's
conversation.
because CD Projekt Red uh is, you know, they made The Witcher and they love The Witcher.
But oh man, look at the Witcher 4 conversation regarding
That's
Siri.
woke. That's woke cuz woman. Woman present, so woke. And
Why is Metaphor
Kingdom
not
Come
woke?
Deliverance.
Why is
Kingdom Come
Metaphor not woke?
Deliverance. Well, you know, it because elf woman.
Got it. Got it. Elf Woman
Elf
is
woman.
okay.
Yeah, elf woman. They like elf lady.
Mm-hmm.
Kingdom Come Deliverance, though, is particularly interesting because it's actually intersecting with two groups that have this issue. Video games have had this issue for a long time, but if you're really into history, you would know that history also has a huge issue with a population of people who are like obsessively screaming about historical revisionism of people who are like, no, you're making it woke. You're wokeifying history by saying things that weren't true. Because there's a, you know, when people take a modern look at history, they have a lot more progressive takes on what may or may not have been happening at a given period of time, and they consider evidence that people in the sphere may not have previously considered. Kingdom Come Deliverance is a big history people game, and so that community is kind of where the discussion around Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 started, is that there was a bunch of people coming from these big history buff communities going, actually no, it was mostly white people in the region, and then other people coming and going, actually there was probably not all white people, and there was a secondary history controversy going on around Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, and that's effectively what's happening again, but it's bringing in a bunch of other people that don't have that context.
Fair. All right. Fair enough. We're going to continue to report on news stories like this, and every time I'm going to continue to be the most tired man in the room.
Yeah, I find it funny at this point. I take great entertainment.
I'm just like Wooly and Cal He's like, is this forever now? This is forever now.
It is
This is
forever
just,
now.
yep.
This is how things are. And you know what? It's only gonna get more.
God damn it.
One day Metaphor will be woke for having elves. Elf racism is coming.
The elf. All right. Fair enough. All right. Well, speaking of